Tears of the Kingdom, the highly anticipated sequel to The Breath of the Wild. If you've got the money, you should buy this game now and give Nintendo a piece of that bank account. Because my god, this game is glorious. In this video, we try out Tears of the Kingdom in both Ryujinx and Yuzu. This video isn't a tutorial or anything, and this video assumes you already have emulation set up on your Steam Deck. But if not though, there's always Emu Deck. When the Tears of the Kingdom ROM was first leaked, Ryujinx was the only emulator to actually run the game properly. It shows some seriously impressive chops, but the initial performance leaves a lot to be desired. The game ran at a consistent 20 FPS, and there were some graphical glitches, but that's to be expected given that Tears of the Kingdom recently came out today, and of course the game was leaked like a week before. Once you reach the open world though, all hell breaks loose. Oh, that's cute, they gave you a Nintendo Switch this time instead of a Wii U gamepad. In the open world sequences, the game does not run well. At least not by default. This is the game in its true unmodified form on the Steam Deck in Ryujinx. At the time of recording, Ryujinx hasn't issued an update that optimizes Tears of the Kingdom better. So for now, what you see is what you get. Yes, it is poor performance, but once they optimize the emulator for Tears of the Kingdom, I'm sure it'll run much better. Maybe not as good as a Nintendo Switch itself, but who knows. Now let's talk about Tears of the Kingdom running on Yuzu. So when Tears of the Kingdom was leaked, it did not work with Yuzu. The Yuzu developers also pushed out a statement saying that they wouldn't push out a fix for this until the game officially releases. So yeah, there's that. Tears of the Kingdom doesn't work on Yuzu. Not officially at least. But where there's a will, there's a way. And certainly, there is a way, right? Well, there certainly is a way. But fair warning, this way may be outdated as soon as the game actually releases. So do keep that in mind. Though without further ado, let's begin then. There exist modifications for the game, allowing it to run properly in Yuzu as well as run at a higher frame rate. But how is this even possible though? Well, first and foremost, you have to look beyond regular Yuzu. There exists a Yuzu fork known as Pineapple. Pineapple implements all of the open source Yuzu early access features, but it seems they also implemented some fixes for Tears of the Kingdom, even before the Yuzu team implemented their own fixes into an official release. Furthermore, there exists 30 FPS and 60 FPS patches. You know, we haven't really tried the 60 FPS patch on the Steam Deck because, truth be told, it doesn't seem like it would work all that well. The 60 FPS patch is more for higher end gaming PCs. Furthermore, there have been some reports that running the game at 60 FPS doubles the speed of the cutscenes, and that's not really something I would recommend. I hope they get that sorted out pretty soon though. The process of installing this mod is pretty simple. The instructions are both the same on Windows and the Steam Deck. In the Yuzu menu, right-click Tears of the Kingdom and press Open Mod Data Location. You'll see an empty folder open up. Drag the 30 FPS patch in there and you should be good to go. Right-click Tears of the Kingdom, press Properties, and ensure that the 30 FPS patch has been applied. Now you're ready to play Tears of the Kingdom. These are the settings we use for Yuzu. Note that this is just preliminary testing. And do keep in mind that later on, we may test this more extensively. We also didn't touch any of the Steam Deck's frame rate limiters, or any of the power settings in the quick access menu. But this will certainly be tested in a future video. It's pretty unreal how good Tears of the Kingdom actually runs, especially on deck. Calling Tears of the Kingdom a perfect experience on Steam Deck is a bit of a misnomer. Going out and about in the world, you can see 30 FPS quite often. The game's frame rate does fluctuate quite a bit, partly due to the fact that it's compiling shaders on the fly. The frame rate also drops when you go into combat. But for a game that just released today, and a game that's bound to get a ton of optimizations on emulation, that's pretty good so far. Also expect to see 2 to 3 hours of battery life. It's not bad. It's definitely not as much as you could get on a modern Nintendo Switch, but it's definitely something. Also keep in mind that this is without any day one patches. And yes, they do exist. At the end of the day, it would still be better to run this on official Nintendo hardware than to run this on an emulator. But the fact that it works as well as it does now is a testament to just how good emulation has gotten. To be fair, the game does not always maintain 30 FPS. In fact, the frame pacing is quite uneven. But this is also a game that just released today. Once emulation devs start optimizing for Tears of the Kingdom, the game is going to run better, even without the 30 FPS patch. And for those of you Breath of the Wild veterans that were into modding Breath of the Wild, there aren't any reports as to whether or not people will bother trying to mod Tears of the Kingdom. but I suspect they will. So once we have plenty of Tears of the Kingdom mods, I might make a video about modding Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom working on Steam Deck, it's a pretty surreal experience, with a combination of both unofficial emulator fixes, as well as game modifications that let this game perform better. Furthermore, all of this happened before the game officially got released. A lot of the testing that happened before the game's official release. So there's bound to be some changes happening here and there. And since I decided to wait for the official release of this game to release this video, the information in this video may be outdated by the time it comes out. So yes, expect a follow-up after some time. The Yuzu development team released a pretty massive progress report detailing all of the work that they've done throughout April 2023. For those of you using Yuzu Early Access or Pineapple SRC, you've been enjoying these benefits already for quite some time, but this is for those of you using mainline Yuzu. This article on their blog explains a lot of great details and explains a lot of the development processes they go through. The main takeaway here is that mainline Yuzu will begin to see some of these massive improvements to performance that Yuzu Early Access users have been enjoying. So in the near future, it may not even be necessary to install Pineapple SRC. There's quite a bit in here that benefits both Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, but this should be a substantial performance improvement for basically every Switch game. They even showcase graphs demonstrating how much of a performance increase this is. Granted, most of this testing was done on gaming PCs as opposed to a Steam Deck, but still though, you should expect a performance increase. All in all, this is very exciting news, not just for playing Tears of the Kingdom on the Steam Deck, or even on the PC, but for playing all Switch games. Who knows, maybe we'll do another Nintendo Switch emulation video. I've also talked a lot about Tears of the Kingdom running on the Steam Deck, but what about some of the other Steam Deck alternatives? Ultimately, I don't have any other Steam Deck alternatives, though I will be covering the ROG Ally when it releases. But I can say it'll probably run better on the ROG Ally. If you liked this video, be sure to press the thumbs up button and spread the good gospel of high-tech lowlife. And if you want to see more high-tech lowlife, be sure to subscribe and press the bell icon for notifications. And for you enlightened individuals, be sure to join my Discord server. And if you wish to support high-tech lowlife, be sure to check out our Patreon page. Links in the description down below.